Hello from Stuttgart, Germany. My name is Veljko, and I'd like to show you a unique project that I've been working on for the past few weeks here at Stuttgart Media University. It's something that's never been done before. There's nothing like this on the internet. It's first of its kind. There's nothing remotely close. And it gave me great pleasure to do it, and I hope you like it too. So it's called Feedspeaker, and once you enter the address, the first thing that it asks you is to access your microphone, and this is because it's a multimedia project. It requires access to your camera, to your microphone, and requires access to your speakers. So I'll just click allow here, and this is it. It loaded pretty instantly. It's pretty small, pretty optimized. And in a few words, what it is basically newsreader for the blind. The idea is that you can issue commands via your voice. It does speech recognition, and then it acts upon those commands to fetch in real time the latest stories around the internet from hundreds of sites, hundreds of most famous sites, through news aggregators such as Yahoo or Google News. And then it does text to speech again, and it reads those stories back to you. So even though you basically have a nice GUI there, a nice website, you don't, as a blind person or visually impaired, you don't really need any of it. You can just navigate with your voice. And you basically do that by issuing commands, and while you're holding the spacebar on your keyboard. So basically, if I wanted to do something, I'll just hold the space down, and I'll tell it a small command, and then it analyzes that, and it acts upon it. And again, it's a prototype technology, so please be patient with it. Speak clearly to it, and don't get angry if it misunderstands you. And before I get too technical, maybe it's better that I show you how it's working. And so the first command that you learn, and by going to the site, is the help command. You just say help me, and it reads back all the commands and all the things that you can do. So I'll just go ahead now and press my spacebar on the keyboard and tell it, help me. Help me.
You said help me. To hear news headlines in a category, say a keyword while holding the spacebar. News category keywords are top stories, business, entertainment, health, sports, technology, world. Say a link together with a number from 1 to 10 to hear a particular news in a category. For example, link 6. Combine described with a number to hear a small description for a headline. Or say help me to hear this message again.
So this is it. So what it basically told me is that I can speak those links on the side out, and it would then list all the news, summarized titles for me for any given category, and then I can do other things to it. So let's just try that. For example, I'm interested in entertainment, and I'll just tell it entertainment. Entertainment.
List of news from entertainment. Link 1. Taylor Swift. Carrie Underwood glam up Nashville for Cl Awards on TV.com. Link 2. Gwyneth Paltrow wows Miranda Lambert. Lady Antebellum OK. Magazine. Link 3. Harry Potter actor Tom Felton recalls Draco Malfoy.
Okay, I'll just stop it. I can stop the speech at any time again just by briefly pressing the space bar. Otherwise, it would just read the titles of all 10 of those news. So you basically now get the idea. I told it to go into entertainment. It then got the news from entertainment for me, and it started reading the titles. And it before every title, you might have noticed, it inserted a link 1 or link 2, link and a number. And this is basically another keyword that when I use it, it would get me to the complete article. But for example, let's say I heard the title number, I don't know, 1, but I wasn't really sure what the article is about. So rather than hearing the entire article, I just want a description. And I'll tell it, for example, describe 1.
Description 4. Taylor Swift. Carrie Underwood glam up Nashville for Clue Awards on TV comp. Gwyneth Paltrow. Kelly Pickler and Miranda Lambert yet also didn't disappoint fashion-wise at Wednesday's show by Jocelyn Vina. At Jocelyn1212. Some of country music's finest walked the carpet at the 2010 Clue Awards on Wednesday night, rocking styles that...
Okay, so it gave me a small description of that particular news. And now if I want to hear the entire news, I'll repeat the number of the article and the link keyword. And I'll tell it link 1.
Gary Prejean and Oakland Raiders QB Kyle Ballard expecting first child. New York Daily News. She may be down a sash but she's up one husband and soon a baby. Former Miss California Gary Prejean is expecting her first child. Fox 411 Palm reported. Prejean, who was stripped of her title in 2000.
Okay, so this is what it does. It basically fetches content from around the internet. It reads it back to you, and it allows you to use voice recognition. And like I said, I can go into another category. I can just say business.
List of news from Business. Link 1. Wall Street tumbles at open on Cisco Outlook Reuters. Link 2.
Link 1.
Wall Street tumbles at open on Cisco Outlook Reuters. New York. Reuters. U.S. stocks dropped at the opening on Thursday, with the Nasdaq falling more than 2% and the S&P 500 down 1% after a
Okay, I'll stop it again. So you must remember that nothing of this is saved on the server. It's always loading the current data from around the web, and there's no pre-generated audio or something like that. It basically takes that content, sends it to a server. The server then translates it into MP3, and then it connects back to the client and reads it to you. And you might have noticed that it beeps, and while it's loading, for example, audio or doing something. And this is to give an auditive signal to the user who might be blind or who might be visually impaired, and he or she couldn't see on the screen. So this is something to let them know that it's doing something and everything is going as planned, and they just need to wait for it to load. And this is it. It seems pretty easy, but you have to remember it connects to hundreds of sources for news data, and then it does some pretty interesting things to fetch that data. For example, for those of you who are technically savvy, you might know that the basic RSS feed looks like this news feed. So basically, from news aggregators, you just get the title, content, the description, short description, and some dates. But the real magic happens here when you retrieve the whole content based on the link. And you have to remember that, for example, if I click here on the link for that site, it takes me to ABC News, and the content is here. It's not provided to me. I have to figure out how to get that content, what's actually what content and what's not content, because basically you don't know in a given page what is news and what it is it's not, what's not news, because you have all these links, you have all these ads, and even worse in terms of HTML, it's even worse. You just have text of links, and you have to sort through all of this. And this is what FeedReader, with the help of different APIs, does. It retrieves content. It focuses only on semantic content, and then it retrieves data and lets you browse it via your voice, and so on. And basically, once you have all this data and once you have all this technology, then other things are possible, like geo referencing your data. You can I can imagine that, for example, in the future, I can say, give me local data only. I'll just say local, and it will fetch the data that's maybe through only 100 miles in the radius around me. And one of the other things that I've been working on, and it's coming into the future versions of Feedspeaker, is the ability to do research via your voice. Like, for example, query Wikipedia. And this is something that's all of this has never been done before online. Obviously, a blind person today is limited to specific softwares that they buy and install into their own computers, and have to use basically their own computers only to browse the internet. And even then, they don't know, for example, which news are current, how to get them, how to get to Wikipedia. And it's pretty difficult. And this is the greatest, I think, benefit to the all-inclusive society, because with this kind of site and this kind of technology, hopefully other sites will do this in the future as well. You basically give the freedom to visually impaired to move around, I don't know, around the world, around the country, and go into a cyber shop and use a cyber cafe or internet cafe and use this site to keep in touch, or just use them on their phones. I mean, the technology, for example, Flash and everything, is available also on Android devices, and this site can without problems be used on an Android device as well. And this is the greatest gift to them, I think. It's the ability to access information from everywhere at any time, and without cost, because up until now, I imagine they would be mostly dependent on TV and radio shows, which is something that they probably did the same in the last 10 years. And today, in the age of information, that should change. They should as well get the idea and the ability to go online at any time and access information in real time. And this is what Feedspeaker does. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the idea, and I hope you like it as much as I do, and I hope it develops. I hope it goes into other sources of information, and in the long run enable the blind people to access the entire internet and even search just by using their voice. And this is just the beginning, but like I said, there's nothing like this online, and it's a prototype, so you have to be careful with it. You have to not get angry when it doesn't understand you, but it's a good beginning, and I'm working on improving it, so it will just get better. Thank you.